Hello. Because all the best videos begin with silence. Yeah, I mean, this is literally just me doing a hardcore event. There's nothing particularly interesting about this, but I should have it recorded in case it goes well, more or less. Just as evidence. But yeah, the first part there, I was on a call with some friends. I hope it's not too hard to believe that I managed to make it through Venture Explorer without dying. But then again, this is me. So actually. Okay, how about challenge to go along with all of this? I wonder how long I can avoid picking up coins for. I feel that's not necessarily a hugely interesting challenge, that feels like it's just a question of server lag. But I wonder how long I can have purely coins from achievements. Like, can I do that and get away before coins? Oh, that would mean like no power-ups though. That would be actually quite difficult. I also would be interested in seeing a no-hit LU run. Not interested enough to do it, but would be interested in it. I wonder how far one could get. I do feel I know strategies for most enemies, which could in theory. Oh yeah, why aren't you aggroing, mate? Oh, well, there we are. I considered one other challenge. Okay, well, that went badly. I was like, oh, let's try no hits. And then forgot no coins. Then got hit. And got coins. And also, like, this is kind of a... That's a run you probably kind of do want to have. Oh, yeah, let's... I think I saw what I was expecting to see there, but let's double check. Because the quick build clip has... So, as I mentioned after that discussion with Vincent, it seems the quick build clip might not have been live accurate as we'd thought, and yes, it turns out that in fact it is not live accurate and can be patched on the client side. That's a complete and utter lie. Can be patched on the server side was what I meant to say, and that has now been done in DLU. So yeah, quick build clips no longer available. You've got to come up with other ways of getting out of bounds, which I don't have a problem with. I'm interested in developing an out of bounds. Oh, here's the issue. From a like challenge perspective, I'm really interested in developing an out of bounds for Avant-Garde and Survival. However, obviously issues with that. I guess all the stuff that Darwin and I talked about regards the first, with regards to the quick build clip for Survival, that stuff all still stands. Like all of the ways of getting around that and stuff that they can do on the server. Yes, I'm over there. Please run that way. Then again, you watch my auto aim attacking in the same direction, so... And the downside of plugging my computer in, suddenly everything lags. Right. attention to what I'm doing. I might at some point start trying to make the start of this run a little bit faster. Thing is, I don't think I'd ever want to speedrun this. Largely just because there's so much RNG. Like, specifically the Maelstrom Brick mission. It's just an RNG fest, and I'd prefer not to have to deal with that, really. And let's be careful, let's run. What I didn't do, which I should have done, and I should do early on in every run, is do a stupid thing like this. Okay, well, that was stupid. Turns out the AI were equally stupid, and so it cancelled out. But yeah, what I really should have done, I was too busy trying to be fast. I should have stocked up on these. Let's just spend all my money on them. I don't need it for anything else. Interesting. No. Level 5, okay. And that's an example of playing it way too riskily. But yeah, I'm not expecting to get through a whole run tonight, because I'm slowly trying to put myself back to a reasonable sleep schedule. So we'll see how much I can get done. But this will, I mean, all going well, this will be a two-parter. And I find that quite nice, actually, about these runs. I really enjoy doing hardcore OU runs that are multiple parts, because I don't know, it feels a lot nicer to me. Kind of hard to phrase exactly why, but it feels more relaxed, I'd say. Like there's no kind of need to reason. There's no kind of reason that I don't know, I feel I need to get it all done at once or anything like that. I can just... Or, no, I guess, yeah, there's less of an incentive. Sorry, I wasn't thinking about phrasing that well. There's no incentive and no real reason for me to try and go quickly in such a run. Which just means I have a tendency, because like if I'm, the only real reason for me to try and go quickly on things is because I'm bored, and if I'm, and that's like one of the main reasons why I muck up and lose runs, is nice. Is because I just get bored and then get distracted, and it's doing a run like this in multiple parts turns out great for kind of keeping that at bay. I guess not. Yes, so that'll be the plan with this one. It'll just be nice and relaxed, no pressure to finish it anytime soon. And so yeah, the only issue with that is whilst there are reasons that it's less stressful and I'm less likely to make mistakes, when I do make a mistake it's all the more soul destroying because I've not just put one session, I've put in like multiple days, but the time I've put in is still the same. So, and also it's quite nice to get to like get on for one of the days and to just have this stuff, like, to have the game, like, the bank gardens be done already, and to not have to worry about going through and doing all of that. It's kind of lovely. Anyway, if this ever does see the light of day, if not, I will have to re-record these thoughts some other time. But did have an interesting discussion with Player that people almost certainly haven't seen, unless you really have a tendency of keeping up to date with comment threads you're not in YouTube videos, in which case I admire your dedication, I guess. Wow, okay, that took me so long trying to get that that respawned. Go away. Love it when those just don't do damage. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So I recorded a video a little while back discussing some stuff which I'd talked to a supervisor about in research, and discussing. I realised afterwards, like, a nice succinct title for it would be what is a dream job? Or would a dream job make you happy, or something like that. I did not think to use the phrase dream job at the time, but basically the idea was, yeah, can a dream job ever, like, is there such thing as a dream job that, you know, doesn't get you stressed, or that you just purely enjoy? And because I would describe the internship I'm currently doing as close to my dream job, and yeah, but I was feeling stressed over it. And basically my supervisor had a great piece of advice, which is that any job you care about, you will necessarily get stressed over it. Like, the stress isn't something that goes away, you just find better ways of coping with it. And I thought that was quite interesting. I thought it was quite an interesting discussion. And I then, at some point during that video, began relating the notion of being stressed by a job to the notion of being stressed by a relationship. And just like, yeah, like other kinds of stresses. Or I was basically drawing the analogy between jobs and relationships. And I wasn't convinced by the analogy that all relationships necessarily had to stress you out. I was hoping that wasn't true. Because obviously that sounds like quite a depressing world. And I had a comment by FFFFF Player 1, just Player, as you normally call him, for obvious reasons. And yeah, he had some interesting points. So basically, I was largely thinking I've got one friend who I really got talking to over lockdown, and like we've been friends for ages, but we kind of just became close over lockdown. And I was like, no, I do think it is possible for a relationship to not stress you out, because, you know, I've got this friendship, and I don't think it has ever really induced stress. And after a little while, I realised, actually, stress would be a strong word, but no, there are still times when it has led me to worry. There are reasons it has led me to be concerned, and I guess you don't notice it, and that's a very, very common theme in like most human relationships, the amount we sweep under the carpet. And so I guess, yeah, I hadn't fully processed that there are actually times when I'd been perhaps a little bit concerned about my friend, or I'd done something by accident that I shouldn't have done, and I was concerned my friend would be upset about it. Turns out they weren't, and therefore I kind of was just like, oh no, that was fine, there's never a problem. But no, that did occur. So I think there's an interesting moral of that story about how easy it is to actually convince yourself that yeah, a friendship has never brought you stress, or a relationship has only ever brought you positive things. And I think that's always something that's interesting to note. But there was then another thing that was Player and I were going back and forth about this. Yeah, there was something else which kind of became clear, and it was this notion of, okay, let's say that actually my memories were accurate and that I had never been stressed out by this friendship. It's not quite true, but let's say that it were. Does that mean that I, for whatever reason, don't necessarily care about my friends? Because that seems to be what this kind of parallel between, if you care about something, it will necessarily stress you out at points in your life, seems to be implying. And yeah, does that mean that I didn't care about my friend? And it's kind of like, that's concerning. And it kind of, if you begin to think about it a little bit, that conclusion doesn't actually make a whole lot of sense, for the primary reason that, well, do you get stressed? Presumably you get stressed about something when it happens. I don't know. I wouldn't be. No, I meant to exit. I wouldn't be typically. I don't know. I don't think that. I think that caring about someone is not on its own sufficient reason to be stressed, or something that wouldn't necessarily stress me out. I feel what stresses me out is fear that there might be, is a particular reason to be afraid that circumstances might happen, something negative happen to that person, something like that. That's what would be generating the stress in that sense, and that's what generates stress out of caring about someone. But the interesting thing for me was that that's circumstantial. That isn't necessarily always going. You can't. That's not something you can say as a de facto true or false. You will be stressed out by this, because actually, well, stress typically comes from external stimulus. So it doesn't make sense to say, if you care about that, the simple act of caring about someone necessarily stresses you out, because caring about someone, that's typically going to be a continuous state. Stress would be, which is that's not triggered by something in the outside world, that's triggered by a relationship two people share. And that relationship, okay, arguably maybe you could argue that relationship can itself not exist without the outside world, without stimulus to build it. But I would argue, and I think that's possibly true, but I would argue basically that there might be a point in time between not really caring about the person or being deeply invested in them, and being then deeply invested in that person's well-being. I think that there's a time when you can deeply care for someone, but it's been short enough that the odds of something having happened to deeply stress you out about them is low. I think it's possible to care for someone and not be stressed out, but it is circumstantial, and I think that was an interesting thing to note. And then you come back to actually drawing the parallel between relationships and jobs, and actually realize that's a good point as well. Saying that you will always be stressed out by your dream job, that doesn't have to be true. Potentially, it could be, just like relationships, that could be circumstantial. I wonder if most of the time one's dream job is not going to be, it's not going to be like a good relationship, I suspect, because obviously Well, I suspect in a lot of jobs, I mean, the example for me being research, the relationships are kind of a game of give and take. I suspect the equivalent with most jobs is that it's going to be the equivalent of quite a one-sided relationship where, you know, the concept of physics really doesn't care whether or not I work on it. It really couldn't care less. So I'm assuming, which obviously isn't a great foundation for a relationship. So, yeah, maybe it's the case that it's always going to be a one-sided relationship, and that's where the stress comes from, perhaps. And I think there's potentially something to that. I think people do stress themselves out over relationships, especially one-sided. Like if something feels one-sided, we have a tendency, especially if we do care about the relationship. Note, it's the if we care. We then do have a tendency to try and like overcompensate ourselves, and potentially even to put the if the overcompensation doesn't succeed, then potentially to put the blame on ourselves. And perhaps this is a case, as always, of the philosophy being informed by the thoughts of the philosopher. But I think that is a logical experience and response that people have with one-sided relationships. People try and I think it's something I've seen elsewhere as well, that people do try and do what they can from their end to try and make it less one-sided. And when that doesn't succeed, people can begin to question themselves for it, which is obviously something that can begin to be stressful. So yeah, some thoughts. But basically, I wanted to add that little bit of discussion because I thought that was really interesting, and it was. Player joked afterwards that it was like he'd gaslit me into doubting one of my friendships, and I think it was interestingly very, very much the other way around. Wow, I'm bad. I'm really bad. And it was actually that basically I gaslit myself into believing that nothing bad, that I'd never had any concerns over this friendship. And I think that's a really kind of common thing in lots of friendships, lots of relationships, stuff like that. I think people do basically gaslight themselves, and I think that's one of the fundamental things about relationships people have, is that one of their defining features is that people brush things under the rug, and like we have a societal urge to do so. Like evolution at some point began to realize, hey, humans will survive better if they're in packs, and began to start trying to build people with traits that made them work better together in packs. And if every time someone in your pack does something wrong, I said pack tribe, but I mean it might as well be a pack, if you call someone out and every time you do something wrong, there might be benefits to that, but you also might waste a lot of time, might generate ill will, and evolution at this stage is like, wait a second, we don't want people to dislike one another, we want this all to kind of work together, so we're going to build this thing called a society, and we're going to say that we want people to do things to keep it running smoothly, and this is ingrained in us evolutionarily, and that means that people do have a tendency to brush other people's flaws under the rug. And I guess the converse to that is people also have a tendency, well, not converse, sorry, in addition to that, not converse at all, but and something that makes it significantly worse, something that exacerbates it in the case of relationships, be this a romantic relationship, be this a friendship, be this a familial relationship, in all of those cases, there's some good reason to also hope it's not the case. And not only do we have this instinct to brush things under the rug to keep everything running smoothly, but we also hope that if we do brush it under the rug, like, it's not just a societal pressure, it's a drive of our own. Because we care about the relationship, we care about the family, whatever. And we don't want something to upset that. And so, yeah, I think it was very interesting having that discussion, and in particular player's comment about feeling like he was gaslighting me, when actually I think it was quite the opposite. I think I'd been gaslit by myself. And by my instincts. And also, I guess, there's another thing, which is memories are reinforced when we recall them. Reinforced, potentially changed, but also reinforced when we recall them. And so, are you going to tend to recall happy memories or bad memories? Okay, you might, honestly, if you're anything like me, you probably will tend to recall bad memories, not necessarily, but less intentionally. But like, you are also going to want to dwell. Like, it's not the case of just recalling them, but you may well want to dwell on happy memories, so you may want to try and dwell on those. In which case, you'll have a tendency to reinforce those things. And I think, okay, you probably aren't always going to be dwelling on happy memories. That's probably quite unlikely. There are going to be times when you're sad, and when you probably aren't in, like, happy memories. Like, okay, maybe it would be great to dwell on those happy memories, cheer yourself up, but in the moment, that's not what you're going to be thinking. You're going to be sad. But I think that's then the point where all these things that kind of are wrong with a relationship or something like that, I think that's when they get brought up. I think that's when you begin to notice them. It's when you're down. So when you're happy or down, which are the two times you're most likely to be thinking about the thing that's causing you to be either happy or down, they're both the times when you are the worst placed to judge whether or not this thing is making you happy or down, because either way you're going to be biased to one side or another. And the only point really when you won't be biased is when the relationship is having no impact, positive or negative, on your life at a moment in time. But at that point, it's highly unlikely you'll be thinking about it. And I guess there's also cognitive dissonance, which is something a psychology friend of mine brought up recently and explained to me, which is the notion that, let's say you're part of an online community and have spent ages producing informational videos about it. You might, at a certain point, begin to start making excuses as to yourself as to why these are you do that, you get very used to making those videos. But now let's say that actually you don't really need to make them anymore. Now let's see, yeah, you don't need to make them anymore, but you still do make some videos. Not totally certain why. Maybe it's kind of just habit at this stage, or the feeling like you'll let people down if you stop. But you make a couple of videos, and cognitive dissonance theory basically then says, well, okay, that technically in the grand scheme of things was wasted time. But my brain really doesn't like accepting that. And so basically it's going to convince itself that actually, no, that was time well spent, and it will come up with a reason for it. As for why, such a hypothetical person may hypothetically make these videos. Shoot. I don't know. There are parts of this I do very much enjoy. But it's definitely not for the same reason that such a hypothetical person was originally creating them, which is interesting to note. And I wonder if even the instinct to like keep making videos is a result of cognitive dissonance, or arguably, I think a lot of people may have this with so maybe lots of people in the LU community have this in general, which is feeling like they've spent a lot of time in the LU community, and therefore internally their brain, like that time may be perceived by others as being wasted, and so they in their brain then justify it. And again, I'm saying they, but this is arguably something which very much applies to me. Like, I think most people would say what I'm doing right now is a waste of time. I would have a tendency to more or less agree, but say, hey, I enjoy these stupid challenges. But there's a question of to what extent do I actually gain enjoyment from them, or to what extent am I just used to doing them, and have begun to tell myself that I do enjoy doing them? I don't know. Does it matter if I'm only telling myself I enjoy doing them? If that means I do, is that the same thing as enjoying doing them? If I believe I enjoy doing them, is there a difference? I'd argue there probably is. I'd argue that you can believe you enjoy doing something, but your overall happiness cannot be affected by it. I think this entirely comes back to a question of relationships. I think it's perfectly possible to believe that to like thoroughly believe a relationship is making you happy, but actually for it to not be doing that at all. I think that's entirely feasible. So I guess in many ways I'm saying more or less everything in life in some way can be viewed through the lens of a relationship. I guess most things have to, anything with which we interact, I guess. Now I guess it's because in many ways the things evolutionarily that govern our interactions with people are the same things that govern our interactions with just about anything else. And so I guess most of our instincts kind of, in both regards, kind of align. Which is perhaps why I can apply a lot of my philosophy regarding relationships to other slightly more abstract concepts, like that of a job, or like that of a slightly strange hobby that may or may not be a waste of time. One thing I am fairly certain I enjoy, or at least I enjoy in the same extent I enjoy physics, is the challenge of glitch hunting, or routing. That's really good fun. I definitely do enjoy that. I also notice that in my time in the LU community, I would previously have always pronounced that routing, and for some reason, despite me being basically the only person I know who actually says it, for some reason my mind has decided that no, I will pronounce it route now. Don't know why. Hello, Neil. I wonder if No, okay. I was going to say, I wonder if that's... Did I just misread that? Was that Neil? Because it would make... Because I know he's been doing some speedrunning things recently, which would explain the new character. He could also just be testing stuff out, and I thought he wasn't going to speedrun on the much, because certain rules are specific about server, unspecific about server version, but basically mean you can't do it on DOU kind of. I don't remember where they stand the last time I checked, but anyway. They're kind of arbitrary at the moment and a moot point, but I can't be bothered to... It's less I can't be bothered, I just don't have the energy to go through and try and do something about it. I'm bad at this game. That's my one Quixsicle as well. I don't think I can get back up before it runs out. I can try. That was bad. And almost certainly not. I've got to go the long way now. But also with this, I'm going to say I think I'll get to the Spider Queen and then I'm going to call it a night. As you know, sleep is a nice thing. I'm really looking forward to player properties in live. Just going to say that. Or DOU live. Specifically, just seeing parkour maps. It is a shame that there'll be no behaviours. Like, I know I'm quite often the person who will be saying the reasons why there are no behaviours, and that's true, they do all hold, but it doesn't mean I can't be disappointed about it. Also, there you are, Rayman, if you're watching, I'm double clicking. Anyway, yeah. I think I'm going to call this a night. Also, I found out the other day that there used to be a heart flag back here. Never realised that. Because obviously I wasn't playing the game back when that was the case. Let's see if I can actually get up on here. I mean, it's definitely possible. I'm just bad. Yeah, I made it up and then fell off. How am I this bad at this game? There we are. It's better. Thank you all very much for watching. I've been you. I'll be continuing this some other time, but I mean, until then, bye. I don't know if I'm going to do these as separate videos or not, so I don't know. See ya. I'm tired. Sleepy. Alright. I mean, there's not a huge amount more to say. Popping in. Yeah, this is going to be a continuation of this hardcore EU run, but when it fails, I've been given a suggestion. Something which I'm quite excited for, and I will be doing a second run after that. Or a second one afterwards, based off of that suggestion. Have everything. Right. Wait a second, I've only got 40 of these. I'm sure I probably thought last time that was fine. I'm going to get an extra 10 just to be, you know, maybe an extra 20 to be safe. I think I've done it before in like 30 health kits. I think, but I don't remember, and I don't want to be. It doesn't hurt much going for some extra health kits. So, ooh, that was a nice jump in. That's the thing. That's the thing with that. So this is part of a foot race, and it's really hard to simultaneously get that jump and land somewhere here and like be able to continue running right after, because you're landing with quite a lot of downward speed on a slope that's basically pushing you backwards, and all of that downward speed just goes into pushing you backwards. now just actually doing the route of that foot race, which isn't what we want to do. Instead, we'll pick up some more of these. That should be good. Then head back and do this. But yes, I'm looking forward to the challenge after this. It's not a challenge I can do. It's not a challenge I can do from the start. It's not something I can do the entire way through Avant Gardens and have it be live accurate. I was going to say I could potentially do it on each. I'd have to self-host, which I can do, but it might mean lag. It's the only thing. I have not self-hosted Dutra in a while, so I don't honestly remember how well my computer handles the enemies. Because of course, I do need enemy AI. Alright. The immortal words of Mario. Let's go. So yeah, this is earlier than I really anticipated making a video today. I wasn't really anticipating making one, but this is definitely earlier than I would have done so, although I would have expected, because yeah, it is currently, what, yeah, 9 o'clock, or not 9 o'clock, 9:40, it is in the 9 o'clock, and like, that's not early, but I had it in my head that I was gonna lie in today, for, yeah, a little bit longer than the half an hour I normally, or that I ended up getting, because I mean, it is still a lie-in, but still, a half an hour lie-in wasn't quite the size of lie-in I was expecting when I said to myself I was going to have a lie-in. Wow. So I normally go for that one over there. So recently DLU updated something which basically changed the orientation of these. Okay, that one it did hit me. So maybe I will go over here just for security. Oh, yeah. Did you see that? That's the reason why the runaway at 3 health rule exists. Okay, I note I didn't run away at 3 health. But that was because I knew I had the health kit coming up very, very, very shortly afterwards. Yeah. And same there. But yeah, because you saw how quickly I got taken down to 2 health. And this one I am running away at, because... That's bad. That was bad, but I still didn't get hit by any of those. It seems as long as you're out of that, inner circle, which I didn't realise, if I'm honest. Also, I didn't quick-sickle myself up. Wow, that was fast. But that's the reason again why the 3 health rule. Because that was that same combo of attacks that I'm... Okay, we've got an infinite loop on this, which means I now can't... Oh, yeah, okay. That would have been such a good snipe. And she sniped me into that. Into the falling rocket. Okay, waiting for cooldown. Oh no. I should have already left. Probably. Oh no, okay. Okay, that one's far. So ideally... think it's farther to go around the side. Let's do this. Let's hopefully not muck up and slip off. Okay, there we are. Red health bar? Am I being really dumb? Or something seemed weird there. And I think it was the health bar colour. That was a good shot. Yeah, they've got different health, I think. Have they? No, maybe not. Maybe it is this. Maybe it's the same amount of health, just different health bar colour. Whatever it is, that something's throwing me off there. Something struck me as different. Maelstrom names normally are purple, so it must be the health bar. It's different. So no, don't get stuck in the loop. Stuck in the loop. And last time it was the second I walked back up. Yeah! The bait is too powerful with this one. Okay, that's good. That attack is always the one you love to see. Okay, that's better. Because, yeah, the shooting up attack there just takes so much time. And it's free to dodge. And they do 1 damage. Wow, that was a really, really bad, like, moving back and forth bit from me, but worked out. Could have stayed there, I bet, but it would have been a risk. I've never seen her do the 3 damage combo. Okay. Wait, why are there only 2? Okay, I don't like whatever's going on here. I don't know why there are only 2. Is there meant to be a thing where if you smash one of the eggs, they don't spawn in? Is that meant to be a thing? Oh no, I played that badly. But that might be it. They're not quite. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is to sync them up. Yeah, I missed to get them on the same attack cycle. They were there, but then they got out of it. I should also have these on the hotbar. Wow. Good shot, in fairness. I can respect that. Ooh, that was dubious. As was that. That was really dubious. Okay, that one's nearly down. That one's undamaged. But we can focus this one. And oh no, that's not good. Okay. You run over. You run over. Right. Don't know why that one stops there. That doesn't matter, as long as it doesn't manage to smash me. There we are. And now I can do this pretty easily. He's back on hotbar. And it takes me about... So yeah, 30 would have been about right, actually. For like the minimum I could get away with. Because this is take... Well, I'm sure I could get away with fewer if I were playing really carefully. But I mean, it's taken me... It took me 10 for the first round. 9 for the second round. I was wondering if I would get hit by that, because I was just touching that inner radius. Ooh, it's not paying attention to health much there. Or to, more importantly, when that health kit came off of cooldown. Which I should have been paying more attention to. Oh no, we shouldn't run back. She did just use the double attack, so it probably would have been fine, but it takes a while to get up this far in a run, so it's not really ever worth risking it. Like, these runs are not fast to do. And there we are. There we are. That is Spider Queen cleared. And now I just have to basically not be an idiot. The Spider Queen is the one place, well, okay, up until Butterscotch. The Spider Queen is the one place where, like, there is a good chance of me dying. So it's, or like, sorry, and obviously, well, yeah, it is the single thing that has the greatest chance of me dying on, I'd say. Just because of those spiderlings and how buggy they are. I guess the fastest way, rather than tabbing to other things in my inventory, is probably always just putting something out. I wish there were a hotkey to select the first item out of a set of mission rewards. That would be such a tiny feature, but boy would it make my life easier. Or, not easier, just better. But yeah, there we are. Just for some sense of scale, I know my normal runs, or I know the easier runs of the various WXML challenges I've been doing. The easiest out of those runs, I'm at Nimbus Station in under an hour. I know that, and so this, I know Spider Queen here just took me about 15 minutes, and I know that doing this without the Spider Queen, going as fast as you can, normally does take, or would take about half an hour. So it suggests a reasonable time. That seems odd. Does Venture Explorer take 15 minutes? Because people speedrunning that, I guess there are a couple of missions you have to skip, but people speedrunning Avant Garden Zoichi take, what, about 16 minutes? And that is also with some suboptimal pathing. Or at least I remember Neil's run was about that long, and there were a few suboptimal paths he took. But serious credit to the guy, his movement was smooth. Certainly early on. I think it deteriorated a little bit later, but it was definitely smoother movement than I could have done early on. There's some very nice use of some subtle and somewhat counterintuitive slope speed mechanics. Which honestly, I haven't done the maths on whether or not it actually gave them any speed or just looked cool. Actually, thinking about it, I don't think it did give them any speed, but it did look cool. Yeah, I don't think it could have given much, actually. Yeah, at least if slope speed's implemented the way we think it is, which there are lots of stuff we still don't understand about OU game mechanics, but like the physics of like the basic physics, I think, is pretty logical, pretty well understood. The shape of the players hitbox, when someone, I think it was Simon, got an image of that cleared a lot up, and that that more or less explained most of the outstanding physics questions. Might as well pick these up whilst I'm here. I guess I could have also picked them up on the way back, but it doesn't hurt to do it now, and there's no real reason I'll come down here later. I mean, yeah, it depends how long this character lasts. If this character lasts... If I can beat Butterscorch on this character, then I would be coming back here and I would be doing missions. The thing is, I don't know, honestly, because the plan for this character, or the plan for Hardcore OU, was to get to a stage, or like my aim for it. The reason why I don't do any of the easy missions is because I want to get to a stage where I feel safe. And thinking about it, I probably... Yeah, like where even if I muck up, I'm not going to die to it. Wait, let me just think. Is there something else? Yeah. So I guess a reasonable... Okay, maybe I will try something a little bit different today. This does mean I'm more likely to die to this, but I might give getting all of the... I might give getting extra health a go. So I, a while back, developed a technique for getting over the barrier in Forbidden Valley. I don't remember if I ever pulled that off as a non-Venture League character. I'm fairly certain it's possible as a non-Venture League character. The question is how much money it would take for me to actually manage to pull it off. Because any trick... This is why I was talking to Funky the other day. This is why I do feel as though spring shoes are kind of the ultimate or like the best speedrun glitch we could have found. Because there's just something so perfect about the fact that, yeah, they let you do some skips that there is no way of doing, but they require a reasonable degree of skill. They're not hugely difficult, but they do require some skill. So they require some time to get used to, some time to get working with. And they cost enough money that they're impractical to do all the time. And, like, honestly, even the skips you get from them aren't the largest skips in the world. I can use them to skip, well, to skip getting a ninja hood that actually doesn't make any difference. I guess if I were doing a race to defeat a dragon as quickly as possible, spring shoes would be helpful. And in Hardcore LU, spring shoes are helpful. What am I with this character? I think I'm Venture. Oh, I could be either Venture or Sentinel, because I currently have 2 Paradox characters. Oh well. Yeah, so I don't know, I feel like they're a great glitch because they can get you really cool places, but like they're not game breaking. They're not. It's not like if you can't do it, then because that's the real issue with this being an MMO. If I find something that's too good, it will get patched. Or it will have to be, because otherwise everyone will just abuse it. So I gotta go back in here. Back in this is my classic one. So we'll be getting we'll have a fair amount of money shortly. Oh no, I need to equip all of these. Remembering that I can double click. Something I did not realise for the longest time and was informed of by chat the other day. No, I can't do that. That's just... I have also tested that previously, and in retrospect, but I never remember. Actually, no, I'll sell all of these, I can get more. It's not hard. Okay, is there anything I need large amounts of imagination for? Yeah, okay. There's the, will I get onto that today? Yeah. I might as well. Might as well keep it. Oh yes, so and I forgot the one thing I should have done. Which was, this is really just like the most pointless trick ever. But it's one I always try and do just because it saves a little bit of time. And it's remembering to buy one of these in advance just to complete this mission. Like, it gets you 1 extra mission. And if I have to walk back and do it, then it's pointless. But it is the 300 coins and 30 use score, so it's kind of like, yeah. Okay, they're not actually free. I have to spend faction tokens on it, but still. It's an Forest, yes, I want to... So yeah, I'm going to have to do... I'm going to begin this by doing... how do I want to do this, actually? Okay, I'm going to get money. Get money and use score, and for that I'm going to do Pet Cove first, I think. I don't really want to do... Okay, no, I'll... Again, the reason I don't want to do that is because if I muck it up, then I lose lots... Oh, I do need to do Pet Cove first anyway. I guess if I do Forbidden Valley, there aren't any flags that are hidden by Forbidden Valley, there aren't any flags that are hidden by pet stuff. Although, yeah, so I think it is actually reasonable to do solo hardcore. Oh, I'm just thinking about flags. But I seem to remember the Imagination Brick in Forbidden Valley. Well, it has a glitchy hitbox, so you can get it anyway. I don't know if that's live accurate. Darwin mentioned it as being live accurate, so I think it is. But yeah, there are some imagination bricks in the game which are meant to be like only which are meant to be only doable with a team of players. The one in Forbidden Valley is one of those. But that doesn't really matter. Imagination isn't a huge thing for this run. Imagination bricks kind of worth going for because they get you use score. But and time for the fetch quests. Running around and doing these. On the upside of all of this, I haven't gone and used a hat yet. Didn't do what I did the other day and muck up and use the Monument Speedrun hat. Not that it affected the run in any way, but still, that was a really good run, wasn't it? That was that day. That I actually died to an Admiral, which is kind of a reasonable place to die. Yeah, the thing I also find quite funny is that initially my thoughts and strats for Hardcore LU were centered around getting out of Avant Gardens, because whilst in Avant Gardens you can't get well, no, before the Spider Queen. Actually, I think it's whilst in Avant Gardens. You can't get anything that will deal like large amount. That will deal any range damage. Well, you can't buy anything. You can get some stuff, but you can't get much of it. You can get, as you saw, I had. I wasn't actually paying any attention to what I. Okay, it's the Vaults mission. I knew what one of the missions was. Didn't remember the other one. Yes, I'm going the right way. This pipe is currently unbuilt. Always a good sign. I mean, I figure at this time I will be the only person online, really. Okay, and how many spring shoes do I want to get? I think for the skips I'm planning on doing, I need 2 spring shoes for each skip. Do I assume I get it in 2 then? Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm only going to get the spring shoes I need. I probably won't manage to get both of them. Well, basically what I'm hoping is that this will be the Gnarled Forest one I muck up, because I need to come back to Nexus Tower anyway. If it's the Forbidden Valley one I muck up, then I'm going to have to make an extra trip back. But yeah, so I need to work out what set of things I'm happy with. What set of things I'm happy with kind of being, yeah, okay, this is enough stuff that I could survive indefinitely. And I feel that's... So I could run this to Butterscorch. And I feel doing a run to Butterscorch, especially doing a speed run to Butterscorch, would actually be quite a fun idea. I'll get this flag, because otherwise I just won't remember where it is. It's really not worth it, now that we've got 2 backpack space per level. But if at some point I'm trying to get some extra use score, then might as well. Stop there. Yeah, okay, so I think I've done the reasonable, reasonably good logical stuff for all of this. I think, yeah, this is going to be my first run going for these skips, and the Forbidden Valley one I'm not honestly certain about. There are a couple of risks with that. I also don't remember the route, if I'm honest. For the Forbidden Valley skip, that's not... Because at the point where I did it, there was... it wasn't, like, really... Well, yeah, it wasn't really reasonable to get far enough in Hardcore OU. Runs. That animation's only started playing recently. So one thing I have noticed is that actually Uchu, those methods of transportation work better than they do in DLU. Like, in terms of... like, okay, then their practical use, like, it's identical. But in terms of animations, the animations are working better in Uchu. And yeah, I'm just going to do this whilst I'm here, because free experience and experience, it's not something we're exactly limited by, but it's something that it's always going to help to get. But I do seem to remember I didn't have to do that much kind of grinding for experience last time. But my backpack feels much lighter now. Mate, it was already pretty light as it was. Selling every weapon instantly when you get it kind of does that to you. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but you get my point. A heavy backpack is... Actually, that's a lie. Heavy backpack is something that happens sometimes on here. Definitely is something that happens. And I'm going to need to health kit at some point. I do it before this because I have an irrational fear that one of these is going to damage me. Based off of some memory I have of being smashed whilst playing this as a child. Now, I know for a fact that it will not happen within the 25 damage that I'm going to be doing here. But that doesn't stop me from being a little bit mistrustful, and I didn't pay attention to that, but so I could have run off sooner. There is nothing more satisfying than already being on your way back to Duke Exeter and just seeing that mission complete thing pop up. Going around here to quickly sell some stuff. I'll need to sell some stuff afterwards, but it also gets me an easy backpack flag. I don't know why I'm going for these, because they don't make any difference. Armor polish pointless. Treasure finder also pointless. There are a lot of things that are just really, really pointless items in Hardcore OU. I guess Treasure Finder, it's not just hardcore LU, which is kind of pointless. I guess anything where you know, if you know, yeah, enough stuff in the game. In practice, it's really not pointless. And in like an actual playthrough, it could be quite helpful for finding the chests in here. Because finding the chests can actually be quite difficult. The Johnny Thunder chests and also the backpack flags. Speaking of, yeah, I'll pick up this as well. As Funky points out, the fact that this is going to leave if the Nexus Tower ever comes under attack, taking all of my items with it is not necessarily exactly what I'm looking for. Are you going to... No, you're not. Okay. I was going to pick up the Cheer for the Championship mission, if that was there. I think it only pops up once I have done this next mission, which will be for Overbuild, and returned to Hellstorm. Yes, I did just check Hellstorm's name because I can remember it. All my homies in VL hate me. I wonder if I could fall off there and at the same time. So I was watching that. It's kind of equivalent to some of the bugs you may have seen on this channel. I was experimenting with bouncers and what happens if you quick build at the same time as jumping on a bouncer. And the only reason that's possible is because it takes the game waits a second before you start quick building. I think it's the same way it waits a second for a user consumable. And basically that's so that if you do choose to attack, well, choosing to attack would cancel the consumable. Wait a second, that's been fixed? That used to be bugged, nice. I think that was the one that was bugged anyway. Oh no, maybe not. No, I think I'm an idiot. No, I think that was the one that was bugged. Nice. That's always good to see. But yeah, so the game doesn't want you using a consumable and attacking at the same time, and it also doesn't really want you using a consumable and... Yeah, it doesn't want you using a consumable and your attack cancelling that consumable, because then people might be a little bit annoyed that they just lost a consumable. And so what I believe happens, especially if it's like spring shoes and it's a lot of money, or like worse, like the juggling bag or something, I think that's even more expensive. But yeah, so that's why the game, or I think that's the rationale behind what the game certainly does do, which is wait half a second or so before between you selecting to use a consumable and the consumable actually being used, which is useful. And yeah, it's the same thing for quick builds. Well, it seems to be anyway. But yeah, what happens when you use and abuse quick builds is that you're still not giving me a... When do you get the Cheer for the Championship mission? I thought it was then. Do I need to run through all of the... Would I? Yeah. If I need to run through all of the all of the really boring fetch quest missions to get that. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know at what point in the quest chain it actually comes up. Because, yeah, she's about to give me a fetch quest. But yeah, so there are various things in LU. So there's definitely a delay between you interacting with a quick build and it moving you to the right place to build that quick build. And that delay is definitely something you can exploit. And yeah, so the trick at the moment is you cannot, from the second you press shift, you can't enter, I'm fairly certain, any new commands to do anything. However, what you can do is you can preserve momentum. Okay, so I think I'm going to go to Pet Cove then. So I need to go. Yeah, I feel like going to Pet Cove is the right thing to do here. I don't remember if I had a way out. I might actually have to check back on my own video. I don't remember if I had a way out once I made it over. So I don't know if I had a way back in bounds. No, I won't bother. That is free XP, but it's also not worth doing. And honestly, yeah, I used to think that really the meta would be to pick up a ton of firecrackers here. But honestly, I don't end up using them that much. The only fight I guess I'll use them for is against Dark Ronin. But even then, a fair amount of time I end up just attacking them one-on-one, because honestly, I do 3 damage pretty quickly, and it has less of a stun. And honestly, once it gets to a certain point, like, if an enemy's hitting me, I've kind of, I don't know, I've developed so many strategies that just involve knowing what the enemy's going to do so I never get hit by them. Why am I going to Gnarled Forest? I'm paying no attention. This is what happens when I try and talk coherently at the same time as play. No, I want to be going to Pet Cove. Because I must be able to pick up all the heart flags here. So yeah, previously there was no way of getting all the heart flags. Now there is. With the route I developed the other day. Yep. Yeah, yep, I'm yawning. That's what Pet Cove does to you people. The game audio is down really low, isn't it? And might not be as down low for you guys, actually. Because it does... I know Streamlabs does game audio relative to what my current audio setting is for for like everything. So maybe I've just made it way too loud. Actually, yeah, maybe I should turn it down a bit. I'm not 100% certain what counts as too loud when you're listening to it, but I feel... it also depends on the piece of music. Depends what instruments are playing. Because there's a classic thing I've heard being mentioned with respect to film scoring, which is you shouldn't, there are certain instruments you should never have playing whilst people are talking, because they play at a similar pitch to the pitches at which most people talk. And so they, more than most other instruments, make it harder to hear. Failed clicking. So sad. Also, did I genuinely just not pay attention? So much for me doing that really quickly the other day. Is there a way? Okay, no. Okay, so I'm trying to remember what the last thing that was added to the changelog was. Cinematics. Using special items when launching between worlds will land you in the correct location. Okay, that was what I was looking for. I've proven... Okay, that was actually kind of the wrong thing to... I'll just do this. Yeah, I've proven I can get the imagination brick now in a hardcore OU run like that. I'm now not going to do it again. If I can avoid it. Okay, so I've now got... Actually, maybe I will. I think that might be easier. Because currently they don't pathfind properly over on those rocks, presumably because those rocks aren't a terrain object. And so it's quite hard to get your pet to stand on that thing. Okay, so I've now got to do this without mucking up. Which, as we know, is something with which I have had... I cannot believe I just did that. It's the second time. The second time. No. No. Okay, no, I'm going to sit here and practice this. Okay, I should just do that, because that's 100 times easier than trying to... So the issue there is that the top of that building has ice physics. Let's just demonstrate how easy that is, and how much I should have done that. Yeah. There you are. So much easier. So I'm still going to go... Well... Let's see. So as mentioned, I have a challenge for this. I have a challenge for after I failed this run. But I've now got two things I kind of want to do now that I failed. Well, one of them I wanted to do before I failed it, but honestly, I've now learnt in the best possible way. Or, not in the best possible way. possibly the worst possible way, but, well, no, it could have been worse. I could have done that more times and failed more runs, but yeah, no, I've now learnt, in a way which guarantees I'll remember it, to just take the easy route on that. Or the route that looks harder, and the fact that it looks harder is the reason why I don't normally go for it, but yeah, no, it actually is easier to just jump down and to not try and land on it, because you're not moving so quickly. You never really seem to move so quickly in LU that the timing of your double jump would be really difficult, so yeah, that's kind of free. So it's a good thing to just have in mind for future, I guess. So we'll turn in that mission. I don't know why I'm still getting achievements though, because now they really don't matter. And also, honestly, they're gonna matter a lot less. I don't want Patricia now. They're gonna matter a lot less if I'm adding heart flags onto the start of this run. Yeah, we do have two different things now. Going to the meta for fighting Butterscorch first and the meta for doing other stuff, that is actually quite different. Just because if you're going to fight Butterscorch, the extra hearts, maybe you'd want to get one of them, but the extra hearts probably won't help you that much. Because there's still a serious risk if you get hit, you get knocked off of the Butterscorch platform. So yeah, maybe I'd want to get whichever of these worlds I deem easier. I think, if I had to guess, that the easier world will be Gnarled Forest, because the Heart Flag in Forbidden Valley, I remember some of those, you tended to aggro a lot of enemies, and it could be quite hard to safely get. Okay, so now we get to Gnarled Forest. And yes, so the challenge I wanted to do when this was completed was the challenge that was recently sent to me by MustacheMan12, which was basically saying, you think you've been doing hardcore LU? No, here's an even harder challenge. The beginning of the challenge isn't exactly well defined, and you'll see why, but, well, you can probably already guess, given the number of times I double-checked how one could get the Championship Sparkler. And the Championship Wand, whatever. That wand does 1 damage. It has a huge cooldown and will like lock you in place. Okay, I'm now just thinking, I wonder if you could do a no consumable. Or, yeah, a no consumable hardcore you run. Because it feels doable. Oh, no, okay. You could do... I mean, okay, it might technically be doable, but I wouldn't want to attempt it until Spiderlings are fixed in the Spider Queen battle. Because right now the Spiderlings are not doable. And I have already not been paying attention. I already need to double back on myself. Because I've already missed a heart flag. No, I'm not going to use that as a tiki torch with these. Here we are, and I complete a mission for this. No, I don't. What about the mission to dig up... maybe that doesn't count. Yeah, it probably doesn't count as treasure. A fun speedrun might be to try and get all of the... Let's go down here first. A fun speedrun might be to try and get all of the imagination bricks in every world. I'll get one extra one of these for me now, just as a test. See whether or not they're working yet. I currently think, yeah. Oh, okay, they actually are. Does this change anything? This might. Right now, I've got to rethink routes again. That's really interesting because that's a. Yeah, that's not been implemented for quite a while, and I'd seen I'd seen other things that did. I'd seen other things that did work. Which, yeah, like for instance the barbecue chicken wing. That all works. That all got you extra health, but the issue with it. Yeah, the issue with the barbecue chicken wing... Oh no! Wait a sec. I thought I was being so clever. Okay, no, that's fine. So I don't think... Okay, no, maybe. Okay, I've really got to test some stuff out as I go through this, actually. There's a lot of stuff that actually I should do to work out. Let's just actually give this a go. Normally I would use... Yeah, that is nice. It's 7 health for 120 seconds. That means I can survive being hit by an Admiral. The issue was that previously I couldn't have that whilst fighting Admirals, but that's no longer the case. I couldn't have it whilst fighting Admirals for the simple reason that, well, this didn't work, and the first thing that increased your health was only obtainable in Crux Prime at level 15. And in order to get to Crux Prime, you had to defeat a certain number of Admirals. Well, this mission is not something I really need to be doing, but I'm just interested in seeing, because normally I would have firecrackers for this. I don't think I need them, because, yeah, pirates are free, more or less. Not if you get swarmed by them, they're not. That's why the guy giving you the mission literally tells you not to get swarmed. Because, yeah, they are actually. When you get a couple of them, basically there are just so many of them here that they can cause a problem. Cause a problem. Okay, I did not remember them doing that much damage. Any smashables around here? Again, I know I have health kits, but I'm interested in seeing how few health kits I could use. This is one thing I find in most classes that aren't assembly. I've got to just watch my health so much more. It's a lot of effort. Oh, no, 2 of them. Don't like that. This isn't awful. I could. Yeah, I need to be careful to not aggro too many simultaneously. But other than that, this is free. Pretty much. Okay, now it's not. No, it's not aggroed too many of them simultaneously. Let's go for this guy. Yeah, again, not necessary. Fairly certain, anyway. Fairly certain you don't have to do any of these achievements, any of these missions. Oh, I was trying to be so cool and jump on top of the chest. Just thinking about the nearest heart I could get. Nice. So do we have the 8? Yes. Oh, I shouldn't have done that actually. It was a good move from the perspective of ensuring my safety, but honestly, I could have just timed it and been safe there anyway. So no, that did not count as a good move. This might also be a better place to farm. Actually, no, it probably isn't, because they all aggro you simultaneously here. Oh, no, they don't. Tiki torch here. I'm also going to run into problems with a lack of imagination. That's... Oh, no, okay. I am technically fine if I get hit by a boulder, which would honestly be pretty cool. Let's get hit by a boulder and how you run and still be fine, but not worth risking it really. But yeah, pets, I won't... Pets are going to cause significant problems. I don't have a plan for this. Oh no. You need to tame a panda as part of a quest chain. It's a required part of a quest chain, but what if you don't have enough imagination to do so? In theory, I could set myself up in such a way that I got more imagination as the thing went on. That's doable. But the game wouldn't recognise that in the first place. Okay, so first things first, let's do this out of bounds trick. Oh no. Oh no, there are lots of things actually. This out of bounds trick... I can't even do this. I need to practice before doing this because... Oh no. This is not good. Because the out of bounds trick, I used a spear. I did not use the spear to deal damage to any enemy, but I did use it. I had to use it in conjunction with the spring jump because different weapons do different have like different cooldowns or interact differently. Don't know exactly why. Again, there are lots of glitches and tricks that we don't fully understand yet. But wow, I'm bad. Yeah, I could potentially have saved that by going for the master jump, but it's like you can stand on there technically, and I was pretty close, honestly, but. I mean, I guess there is no reason not to go for this. Not to give it a try, at least. Where's the last one? Up there? Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing that really... Oh no, this isn't good. I've got to come up with something else, I think. I'll give this a... I'll give this a singular go. Oh no, is that even worth it? So there are a multitude... There are a multitude of different tricks and stuff I do have with this glitch. The spring jump glitch. But yeah, basically the issue is certain items work better with the spring jump trick than others. And fists are not the best. The best is like a spear or something. I guess I'll just go for it. And it should be lined up sufficiently well. Yeah, that was what I expected to happen. For some reason, certain items appear to check better whether or not you're on the ground. This could be a huge problem. Because I can't equip any weapon. I'm going to need to do tests on Uchi. Because I don't see a way around that. For now... Where did I get that extra? Oh, I know, I got that imagination point from. I got it from the Feed the Prisoners mission. Which was why I did the mission, but I just entirely forgot. Okay, let's learn your pattern. I'm assuming it's the same pattern as any other, right? I can also fight apes. Is it worth trying to fight this guy? Because the strategy I'm about to attempt is risky, at best. Okay, yeah, but the attack pattern is standard. I don't need to be concerned about that or anything. Got 120 seconds. Got healing kits. Smash these until I find something that drops me. Okay, there we are. This is gonna be touch and go as to whether or not I can pull this off. Okay. Wait until after the first attack. Okay, now. I'm gonna get knocked out of this attack. I'm gonna throw a boulder. Don't want to do it until after the boulder's been thrown, if I can avoid it. That was close. I'm not out of the woods yet. Okay. Okay, so we have an alternative skip for that. Aside from just fighting that thing, which I could have done. But And yeah, this anyway is not live accurate. And the other thing I realised is I can't use the hat. I can't use the hat to set where I respawn. Because, of course, that's wearing a hat. Okay, and this was where I was wondering whether or not I have enough imagination for this. I only did because of that mission. The Feed the Ninja mission. But that's good because basically I need to limit the amount I go to this area. Well, I was going to limit it before because spring shoes, but now actually hardtack biscuits are cheap. In the kind of scheme of things with Hardcore LU. Oh, I need to have Quixicles for this. Do you sell Quixicles? Yes, you do. Good. I don't think I've actually bought any Quixicles this game yet, which is rare. Let's just double check. I don't think I could do this without Quixicles. No, I think I need them. It's been a little while since I've done this in a run, actually. Because all the runs that have been aiming for Crux Prime, there's been no point to doing any of these. Yeah, this is more or less easy. Should be some free cannonballs to complete that mission. But yeah, so yeah, I'm not actually limited in coming back here, really. Why am I playing this badly now? Let's not waste a Quixsicle if I can avoid it. There we are. Yes, this is the first bit of real non-live accuracy we have. It's the fact we don't complete this, but there's no risk of dying in the Cannon Cove minigame, I don't think, anyway, from memory. Although I didn't play it much in live. Don't remember if there's a flag inside one of these boxes or anything. Don't remember where the last... Okay, how many flags down am I? Pirate Flag Hunter 2. I know where at least one of those is. Flag around here anywhere? Yes, it's worth... It is a bit of a risk. The 8. Well, actually, not if I go to Crux Prime and pick up the big one. If I get one of those, we're actually good. I don't remember where that last heart flag is, and I've got to check it's not here anywhere. Because, like, I don't want to have to come back here if I can avoid it. I'm fairly certain it's not, but I've got to check. Oh, and that's why I've got to check. Did not remember that was, and I know where the last flag is then. We should have the hook now. Yep, here we do. It does say equip it to use Paradome Equip Builds. I'm not going to be doing that. Is it possible? So I can get out. Well, I don't know if I can anymore. I was about to say I know that ape can hit me, but okay, it's worth just using another hardtack biscuit for that then. seriously, now hardtack biscuits are working, life has been made significantly easier. And also not muck up the jump like I did last time. There we are. Okay, let's first off fight the admirals whilst I've got a little bit of extra health and a little bit of extra safety. Hey there. No, I'm not fighting both of you at once. That's not a thing that's going to happen. If one of you walks off, we can do this. Both of you walk off, I'm just going to repeat. Probably. Okay, now this is more or less free. I don't like where this guy is. Okay, that's better. Fighting from the other side, there was actually quite a large risk I would die there. Okay, so yeah, now we just need to get one more heart flag, and we will be on a permanent 6 hearts, which is huge. Because I believe Stromling Admirals deal 5 hearts of damage. So that means I can now actually tank a singular hit from a Stromling Admiral, which is pretty good. And given Stromling Admiral attacks now do knock you back as intended, yeah, note I'm never actually equipping this. Don't know if it's live accurate or not, but certainly on DLU I don't have to equip it. There's apparently, I've never actually done this, but there is apparently the out of bounds glitch here. I'm not going to do it now because there's no... Is there a reason to... There's no... Okay, so the thing is, previously with some of the stuff with the quick build clip, there were ways back in bounds. Without the quick build clip, there now is... There's no way back in bounds where I want to get back in bounds, so I don't think that's worth it. Okay, anyway, we now have... We now have health. And that wasn't too bad. There was nothing there. Like, the deaths I had were all kind of mucking around deaths. So I've died, what, twice now. I died once to the... I died once to Pet Cove, and I died once to that ape. And that ape I could easily have avoided, had I been a little bit more careful. The hardtack biscuits, I didn't... Yeah, so as mentioned, I had seen in the changelog something saying some stuff like that was working. However, I'd also seen quite a few... so like the barbecue chicken wings, I'd seen those working anyway. So I was kind of like... I was a little bit doubtful. It was a little bit... What I thought might have happened is that they previously, I think, just wrote something in to prevent you using the... Because even when barbecue chicken wings were implemented, you still couldn't use hardtack biscuits, and we think that was put in there to prevent something like Funky happening again. Funky's character that had 1,000 health. Don't know why I'm doing this. I've already picked up the flag, but I guess it's good for picking up stuff. So do I want to up my hardtack biscuits then? Okay, what else? What else would I be doing? I'd want at least one hardtack biscuit for Forbidden Valley. But it might be, honestly, hardtack biscuits might make butterscotch a lot easier. They might be more viable. The only issue is they don't actually restore any life. You do need a separate thing to give you life. But you could stock up on healing. Okay, there are possibilities are actually forming here. This is, yeah, there's interesting stuff now going on. I think I'm gonna stock up on a ton of healing cherries. I think that's always quite a good move. If I do want to fight butterscotch or something. Alright. But yeah, there are also things now like the bag of glitter I can use. Yeah, concern being pet taming minigames, because pet taming minigames are the one thing that force you to have enough imagination to start it. Quick builds, you do not need enough imagination to get started on. And so you can set things up like a fountain of imagination or something that will recharge your imagination whilst you're quick building. Like if pet minigames worked like quick builds, there'd be ways of recharging your imagination during them. However, yeah, needing to start with that amount of imagination. Well, actually, the thing is as well, the point where you need the imagination is right at the end when you're building that thing, so you need to time stuff pretty well. But bags of glitter, I literally said I need to get... Oh, I forgot I get hardtack biscuits back from this mission. And even better, I got another one out of that. That's good. Okay. So yeah, 2 deaths so far. Both of them very, very definitely avoidable. Both of them, not only were they... Yeah, both of them there are strategies to avoid. I think that's the real main thing here. The fact that not only were they like technically avoidable, but there are strategies I can do which mean I can avoid them like 100% of the time with no real risk. There was the one risky maneuver involving the ape, which honestly I came so close to not managing to get on that. Not managing to get on that bouncer, but I could probably have used a health kit there. Okay, what do I think you're doing? Yeah, next to Southburn Valley. Landed on the wrong side of that hedge for a speed boost and got a slowdown instead. But yeah, I feel one interesting thing is I can more or less talk at the beginning of a hardcore LU run. Because honestly, I feel I don't have to think to. As you may have noticed, I find it somewhat hard to like maintain a steady like train of thought and conversation whilst playing LU, and that's, well, it's not all of the time, but whenever I'm researching something, that's really difficult. If I were having a conversation with an actual person, that'd be fine, because we'd be talking back and forth, and we'd kind of interrupt one another when we found something interesting LU related, but it's a lot harder to actually do that when I'm just on my own recording to a more or less basically empty screen, or at least empty of any replies to anything I'm saying. And that means it's just so much easier to lose my train of thought, especially when I'm especially when I'm routing. But the interesting thing is that early LU, I can now more or less just talk through because I don't really have to think for any of it. However, stuff like this, where getting these heart flags is kind of uncharted territory, got to think a bit more. I didn't try getting hit by an admiral. I should have done that. I might go and do that later. I might also do that in... I should sell. Yes. I might also try and give that a go in Crux Prime. See if I can survive being hit by something that I can't sell to you. Again, having things that heal you, brilliant, but those I realistically won't use. Yeah, I'm really counting... Yeah, this stuff getting to Crux Prime, I haven't done it enough times for this to be second nature, such that I can, like, easily talk through all of it. If I were doing a standard Crux Prime run, I probably could. But this is... trying to get heart flags, etc. does make this quite non-standard. Yeah. I wonder what the maximum... I guess daily missions exist. I guess you could do this probably without ever leaving Avant Gardens. Now daily missions exist. It sounds like the most boring way of doing this. And also, even if you did do that and get like up to level 45, the rules on ties in LU score is that the win goes to whoever did it fastest. And so it would be so easy for someone to beat that because you would have to wait across multiple days. And anyone could beat that by doing it in one go. I'll accept this, but I don't know I really want to do it. And Velocity Lane will steal a chassis from me. So I'm not hugely interested in doing that right now. Let's... Right, so yeah, it is just Finn Valley. I was considering backpack flags. Oh wow, that was really bad. Like, I know I'm bad sometimes, but that was worse than normal. That was close. I'm not actually 100% certain how to get this flag reliably. That seemed close enough. Aside from, again, the obvious way. Aside from the obvious and intended routes. Yeah, there we are. I said route that time. That is how I would naturally say it, but a friend... a friend managed to get me saying route. And it's kind of stuck. Which is concerning. Did I get the one around the back of the Gnarled Forest launch pad? Don't remember. That looks like yes. Wow. Nimbus Station Story, Nimbus Station Achiever. Well, so I can get... I can get a Nimbus Station Story, should be pretty easy. Nimbus Station Achiever. And then, like, follow. Follow directly after I get the heart flags. Or the backpack flags here. Which, yeah, I wonder how long it's going to take for me to learn where everything is in LU. is, again, there are lots of the obvious things, but remembering where stuff like backpack flags are in like Nexus Tower, that's not as easy. Because there are rather a lot of them. You're going to give me the water sprayer mission. Don't care. Already got that, yes. Can't think of, for the life of me, where the remaining plaque is. Should now have, yeah, Flag Hunter. One more. Where's that plaque? Which one would I most likely have missed? So, 2 coming down there. There is 1 in the assembly area there. So, that means there's probably 1 down here, 1 in the race place. And I've missed one of those. I got the 1 in the race place, so it should just be 1 here. If I had to guess. Well, I've now counted all of them, so I've evidently forgotten something somewhere. There isn't anything there, though. I know that. And, yeah, the number of times I've walked over and checked the Lego Club, there is never, ever anything. Like, first rule of LU, nothing's near the Lego Club. Never expect them to be, never will be. Don't really care. That mission. That was interesting, moving my camera back and having it clip through. Camera clips aren't really useful in LU, but, or at least yet. There's one single thing that suggests camera clips could at some point have some use. Because camera obviously shouldn't be something that affects your motion in any way. However, I think it does. There's one instance where something seems to be, at the very least, correlated with camera motion. This one doesn't count as a plaque you need to go to for the story. 100% certain. There's not one in front of the moon base thing, is there? Did I just miss one on the way down here? Probably did. There is... No, that's a heart flag. That's a backpack flag. Is there one next to... No, where is it? Where is this one remaining? Oh, it's there. Don't know how I missed that on the way down, but well, I probably commented on the way down. Okay, and I also get an Infestation Achiever now, which is free stuff. Yeah, there we are. Okay, and now we run to Forbidden Valley, and yeah, I'm not gonna go for the spring jump in Forbidden Valley because I don't think it's... I don't remember. Actually, let's see. Let's see how I did it originally. Let's find that video. Shouldn't be too hard to find, I hope. Channel. Oh no, that's on. This isn't even on this channel, is it? It's on. Well, yeah, it's on Ninja U, but it's an unlisted video from back in the day where I didn't have. I didn't have this channel to put stuff on. No, I don't want to hear my voice. Not in the mood for that. Wait, where do I find my unlisted stuff? I guess I've got to go into YouTube Studio for that. Be here shortly. Content. See, okay, FV gate skip demo. Let's see what I'm using for this. I seem to just be using my fists, but I am wearing the Buccaneer hat. I don't know if I talk during this. Seems like I don't. I really should have this video up right now, but I mean, ideally you will see it very shortly. You'll see this working. Okay. Yeah, so I can't use this jump. Okay, this is actually somewhat problematic. Yeah, okay, stop failing at the start. Huh. Okay, so I did that. I made it across there with pretty much fists only. I used the Buccaneer headgear, but I don't think I needed to. I'm not certain it was necessary. So let's actually quickly go and get some water whilst I load Between Worlds. Well, okay. Walking to elsewhere in my room and finding myself a water bottle. I always have filled up water bottles at all times. But yeah, it would just be really, really good to get to Kamikaze. Because if I can make it there, aside from being able to comment on slightly dubious naming choices by LEGO, aside from being able to get the heart flags, I can also get the tough buff source, which is worth it. Reduces damage you take by 1 to a minimum of 1. I don't know if that's currently working in DLU, is the only thing. I guess I might as well. How would I test it? I guess I can just get hit by a Ronin. Is there anything that... I was going to say, is there anything that deals 1 damage? Then remembered the phrase, to a minimum of 1. I think the individual balls which get shot out, balls of energy which get shot out by the Maelstrom Horsemen, I think they deal... okay, that was probably tighter than just jumping to the rock there. Wasn't certain if that was a possible jump. From down there to up here, no, that doesn't look it. It looks too high, too much height I'd need to get. Okay, there we are. I so nearly just ran off the edge there because I was rubbing my eye with one hand. Okay, so let's do the heart flag thing. Nice. Okay, where are all the heart flags? There's one in that big box. There's one in that box. There's one in that box? There's definitely one somewhere here, I swear. 18 imagination for those guys. That's actually going to be quite difficult. I'll need to work out how I'm going to get imagination. Oh, I might as well do the pirate only quick build mission. Could have sworn there was a flag somewhere. Oh, I think something I may have seen in the chain. No, okay. I thought I saw maybe that getting fixed in the changelog. It evidently did not. Yeah, okay, I need to pick up 3 ninja disguises. Again, those come from Kamikaze, I believe. Okay, I'm triggering those and I'm not taking any damage. Don't know why. Alright. So I guess maybe one could simply argue Kamikaze's on the main quest chain, and this is a necessary prerequisite. Yeah, I've never pulled off this gate skip. Without a Buccaneer hat before. Again, shouldn't be necessary. But there's a reasonable chance I die here. Wow! Okay, lagging. Can I save this? Okay, with a sufficient amount of lag. Why is this suddenly... Oh! Okay, I'm willing to bet it's just loading in, like the Paradox Refinery, etc., and that's why it lagged there. If I had to guess. I hope that doesn't... I hope it hasn't just unloaded Outfall's back, but it probably has. I may have to deal with that lag every time. I slipped off the edge there, I think, which meant I lost my single jump, perhaps, or something. I lost loads of speed as well. Where's the... I'm not even in the right place. I think this is the route I normally take, yeah. Fairly certain I always had to smash this before doing it. Should be fine. Yeah, there we are. Nice. Honestly, yeah, this totally counts out of bounds already, and this is possibly the easiest. Oh, I'm not paying any attention. I need to use an extra Quinksicle because I wasn't paying any attention there. Yeah, this, I think, technically counts out of bounds and is possibly the easiest out of bounds there is. Okay, and so the challenge is now to get over here. And there is actually a drop directly beneath me, so if I fail this, I do die. Well, actually, I probably won't, because... So, okay, so the trick... So what I would normally do is a Buccaneer jump, Buccaneer super jump, and about the peak of the jump, so about here, I would... I'd attack once and I'd use the spring shoes. Can't do that. And if I just use the spring shoes here, you'll see something interesting happens. I do that. Don't know why this happens. This happens all throughout this area when I'm standing on the ground. I did that, by the way, because I had 3 spring shoes. I could afford to waste one. I do have literally 1 attempt for this. So, if I can't use it whilst I'm on the ground, what am I going to do? I'm going to do something similar to this. I'm going to run. I didn't manage to demonstrate that very well there. Basically, if you run off something that's steep enough, I think I may have done it there. It's really hard to see. Oh, that was close. Yeah, if you run off something that's steep enough, basically you can attack in midair. It's basically the game just doesn't notice you're in the air. So I think I'm just going to give this a go. Attack. Go. Cancel. Cancel 5. Ah. Can I recover this? No, I cannot. Okay, I technically... How long can I... when you're not willing to accept defeat just yet. I'm assuming the kill plane extends underneath here. I'm assuming I did not just avoid the kill plane by going underneath. The kill planes, no. This must just not be implemented in DLU. I'm not 100% certain where I am, so quick trick, whenever the camera bugs out in LU, you can always just relog. Or not even relog, just switch minifigure and come back. Yeah, I'm fairly certain I should have died here. I'm fairly certain it doesn't really matter that I didn't die because I can't get back up. Interesting, interesting. Is there something stopping me falling off here, or did I just get really lucky? I guess that answers my question. Interesting. Did I somehow land high enough up that I didn't die? Okay, I'm gonna need to do some testing, work out my spring shoe, what spring shoe tricks I'm gonna be using. Gonna need to do that in Uchu. I'll record it, I'll do a video on it. For now, let's just do these missions. Do I want a cavalry hill? Probably don't. Probably want to. Do you want to go this way? Oof, yeah, that is that's got to be related to stuff loading in these lag spikes, and they're all occurring at about the same place, and that place is very near an area where I expect you'd need to load a lot of stuff in. So let's have these to hand. Doubt I need hardtack biscuits. You're not going to do too much damage, are you? No. The second I see the lance going back, I run. Or actually, in that instance, it was the second I just saw him moving. Let's go. And this will be easy fight. There we are. Okay. If I wanted a really, really safe place to fight Ronin, I guess I could arguably just go for Cavalry Hill. Yeah, why do... This has got to be a recent DLU bug. The fact that stuff is really it despawned. Oh hello. Okay, you're here now. That's fine. This is a good enough place to 1v1 Ronin. It's possibly not the best place to fight them, because I don't know you really want to be 1v1ing them. Just because you need to smash quite a few for this. They don't all drop one. I'm interested in why that no longer deals damage. I don't know if it dealing damage was like live accurate or something. I also don't know why the health bars have suddenly changed colour. Oh! They're only changing colour on stuff that they only change colour on stuff that spawns from a smashable. But yeah, the reason why I think that them changing colour is a little bit odd is because the colour of the name and normally the colour of the bar, they're both linked, typically. Maybe this is just something that's live accurate, but yeah, they're normally both... they're normally both links, and they're normally both determined by the destructible component. of the thing you're using. Indestructible components have been implemented correctly in DOU, I'm assuming, for ages. There shouldn't be. So this shouldn't be a destructible component thing. Also note, no damage is being dealt to me by those things. It definitely has in the past. Whether or not it's live accurate, again, I don't know. But it seems a very, very odd addition that no damage would be, or that damage would be dealt, and that wouldn't be like noted as a bug by anyone. Maybe we all just assumed it was live accurate and we all made that argument in our heads. That's plausible and possible simultaneously. Hence plausible. Ideally, we'd like to avoid aggroing that statue. Serious risk, I kind of push him back into that statue, honestly. Okay, that's not ideal. But that actually confirms my theory there. 2 Dark Ronin, both. This is good, honestly. Okay, so that's something interesting about the Dark Ronin. That you do not need to be close enough for them to hit you, for them to start attacking. Like, I knew it was possible for them to start attacking and for you to avoid it. That was actually really close. Yeah, sometimes these guys spawn. I don't know if it's the nav mesh being a little bit weird. Sometimes they... If things are higher up, they get really, really hard to fight. And they don't need to be much higher up than you for them to become quite hard to fight quite quickly. Okay, animations are broken. Those two are presumably both attacking right now. Heal up. Let's give me some hearts. That was kind of close. Need both of them to... Okay. Ideally, I will go back and forth between both of them, which is what seems to be happening, and I just keep them permanently stun-locked. Oh no. No, this should be good. I expect 2 more damage max. There we are. But yeah, you can see why I didn't want to just farm these over in a place where there was so few of them, because yeah, you don't get many of them. Yeah, you need to smash lots of these in order to get the helmets. And this is very risky. Okay, hold back. Okay, you alone. Let's just isolate you. No, seriously. Let's get this one isolated. I don't want them to lose aggro. That was close. No! Okay, that's a little better. There we are, we've got this now. That was, I really, really, like, one of my pet hates with LU is, target is, so auto-aim is notoriously bad, but auto-aim and honestly just these things, these fences, these lanterns, and like trying to choose which one you smash, like so I'm trying to smash the lantern. I'm literally standing next to the lantern, I try and smash the lantern. Doesn't smash the lantern until everything else is smashed. And apparently those took priority over over an actual Ronin that was attacking me. Over 3 Ronin that were attacking me simultaneously. But again, note, all of these are doable, and pretty much everything since those spiderlings, they've all been doable fist only. So it's kind of seeming plausible that you could get through this all without Now you could get through all of this without ever once having to use a firecracker. Probably should have picked up missions from all the Ninja in the Great Tree. Because... yeah, that would have made my life significantly easier there. Well, no, okay, why do I say that? I would have gotten 3 missions. 3 missions, 3 achievements. If my voice changed weirdly, that's because I was stretching. I've gotten at least 1, I think. Well, I know I've gotten at least 1. Alright, so... hopefully... the aim, so the aim of this was not just to complete all these missions, but I think it's these missions I need to complete in order to get the Nexus Force Sparkler. And I don't think I ever ended up saying it, but yeah, this was deemed by MM12 the worst damage item in the game. Unfortunately, I can't have it from the beginning of the game. But yeah, it's the worst damage item in the game, and so I'm going to give stuff a playthrough with that alone. Maybe I will try and follow through the AG quest chain, because let's face it, I have that more or less memorized. And do it entirely using that. Come on. Okay, so, well, no, she won't have it for me yet, I expect. I'll need to talk to Duke Exeter. Maybe I'll need to go to Crux Prime. Or maybe in order to give me that mission. Yeah, still not. Okay, so I can do this with... oh. Do I just need to talk to... okay. Wow, okay, I'm bad. So I didn't need to do any of that. C11? Yes, it was. That was a guess. I knew it was... okay. Yeah, I knew it was something memorable. I didn't know what it was that was memorable. Okay, and so here we are. This is the worst item in the game, DPS-wise, according to MM12. He could not find any that were worse than this. First off, I'm going to attempt all of the Forbidden Valley heart flags. I guess, yeah, we can pay attention to my health and see if my health ever goes beneath the amount I should have at this point in a run. Also, note that, yeah, in trying to do all of this stuff, we had more than enough use score to get stuff in Crux Prime. Going this slightly longer route seems very much to have been worth it. So yeah, I think definitely that Gnarled Forest stuff, that's getting added into the route. Because an extra heart... so the first thing I'm going to do here is going to be run into an Admiral. I suspect Crux Prime Admirals probably will still one-shot me. I think the normal ones won't. Again, I did forget to test that whilst I was there, but I'm sure someone can confirm relatively easily. Comments how much damage they do if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, let's... actually, yeah, so I'm gonna... okay, I'm not actually going to do any of these missions. But yeah, I want to go through and see Yeah, let's see how many of these heart flags I can get. Okay. First off, let's get hit by this guy. Oh, of course he's stun locked. Nice. Don't want any of these guys to be fighting me. It's going to be a little bit of a problem. I don't have a big one either. And okay, so I know how I can isolate Admiral. It's the fact that they get locked in place whilst doing their attack. Okay, so they do still one-shot me. Again, reasons why it's nice not to be on a hardcore UN. I'm not 100% certain that one-shot me. I guess I could check back in the video. There's no nice and easy way of doing that whilst I'm recording this, not streaming. But, let's just, I can do it again, just to double check. Both attacking in a very similar place, so again won't do it yet, but you can see that nothing's damaging me. Okay, let's... did I... How am I managing not to be hit by these guys? Way too close together. So, okay, let's... Wow. I'm just getting more and more admirals. I was hoping they'd lose aggro. Okay, I'll go over here and then come back, and then I'll only have one aggro. One admiral aggroed. There's only one that's very near to this entrance. At the moment, there we are. This guy, let's charge some more. Yeah, that was clear. Definitely got one shot there. So it's intended. I'm using lots of my healing stuff. Probably shouldn't be this laissez-faire with it. Alright, I wonder. I don't know. I'm going to test it now, but because I can just check actually how much damage they do. But I feel with this much health and a hardtack biscuit, I'm definitely fine. Go away. No one likes you. Okay, well, I'll fight you. Free Admiral Smash? I'll take it. Because, yeah, Admirals are free if isolated. Or at least they should be. I'm sure those of you who watch this with any regularity whatsoever will have seen me muck up Admirals before. It's the way to go. I might need imagination for this. Yeah, I didn't get enough there. I'm not getting enough here either. This one is meant to be doable single player though, so it's, I think anyway, certainly. Like obviously, like it's meant to be done 2-player, but I think it's also meant to be doable single player. Okay, we'll pretend that incident never happened. I just didn't see where it was, and for some reason was like, no, I must move quickly. No, that did nothing. All that did was lose me a heart flag and lose me a couple of these. I need to do more now. Which order? Yeah. Well, with the first two, it actually doesn't matter. I probably should have done them in the other order, really, but technically it's very, very, very slightly better to do them in the other order. That was not worth using actually, but anyway. I really did this quite badly. Still there though. Take that. Now I'm actually going to look where I'm jumping this time. See how much easier that is. Okay, so yeah. So we've got to get every heart flag over here. That means I've got to make it through. So Crux Prime, the Maelstrom Quarry, that'll be easier. Now that I've got an extra heart flag. But yeah, this is honestly the only bit I'm really going to care about doing. Oh, and I don't actually have the stuff for it. So I spent a while looking at this before, and I couldn't manage it, and the fact that I'm managing this now, a shout out goes to Tracer for that one. Basically, I was just... Yeah, there are the things despawn, but certain things despawn more quickly than others, and I'm not actually certain I'll be able to get this still. If I'm honest. I hate how expensive things are here. Like that. Honestly, 2 of those are the price of like spring shoes. Well, the soda, like that is actually insanely expensive. I guess to some extent Heimlich can charge what he likes, because no one wants to walk back to the Nexus Tower. But like, that was 700. Maybe so. This will be 100. Yeah, no, that's not worth it. 750 for 12 imagination. This is 100 for 10 imagination, and I can get a super notion potion for things. Yeah, I can get a super notion potion for what was it? Oh yeah, 200 coins. So there's no world in which that is actually worth it, aside from the not wanting to walk back to the Nexus Tower world. It's worth remembering that that's not worth it. Okay, so the proposed route. What I was trying to do was I was trying to work out a way of jumping from this platform on the right back to this platform on the left before the bounce on the platform on the left despawned. That's not possible. However, it is possible to... I believe the strategy was to build the thing that stops that. Oh, you'll see. Hard to describe. There's a basically. Actually, let's describe it first. So basically, there are 3 quick builds going on here. There is the quick build here, which is which builds a bridge across the gap over here. There's this quick build in this box, which is a bouncer that takes you from that platform right ahead over to this platform. Then the green crate on that platform there, what that does is that builds something that knocks you off your course on the trajectory from this bouncer, and yeah, it basically blocks you from reaching the platform from which you built it, and you end up on that floating platform right there with the heart flag. Unfortunately, this is very, very much designed to be done by 2 players, and so it's pretty tight otherwise. As mentioned, yeah, I was looking at glitches and could not manage it. It turns out I was doing them in the wrong order, but yeah, still not very good. Okay. So I want to build it. I don't think I need to build that fully, so honestly I shouldn't have gone for all of that. I've already failed. Let's wait for everything to despawn. I think I do need to build. Actually, let's check out this video. YouTube, Lena Berry. Berry. Okay, okay, yeah, last story, Marth Flag solo. Okay. Don't need to watch this whole thing. Okay, so fully builds the first platform. Builds the second one. Yeah, it really, really helps to have imagination for this. Okay, yeah, so fully build the first platform, fully build the bouncer. And they fully build the second platform. That I can't do. That's not plausible for me to achieve in a run. So I'm going to have to... I'm going to have to hope that that's not necessary. Because I can't get away with that. Okay. Okay, let's see. Then... So yeah, the idea was to fully build this. I'm just going to assume we don't need to fully build all these things. Because I can't. I don't have the imagination for it. Okay. It's not good. And that just despawn. Okay, maybe I do need to fully build. This might not be doable then. Hardcore OU. I could do it in a... Okay, I've got to think about this. That... It seems like the despawn time is proportional to how fully built it is. That is also doable, by the way. Oh, I messed it. Certain which one it was. Okay. So this may still not be doable for a single player. Or at least a single hardcore OU player. The real difference between mine and Tracer's runs were basically she just had a ton of imagination. She was Space Marauder, so she had rank 3 Space Marauder, so she had 43 imagination. I'm not convinced I could pull that off. And if I can pull off one of the half flags in here, it's not worth going for the rest of them, which means we're on, so which means I spent a lot of money I didn't need to spend, but we're then on to the final challenge of this video, which is, I mean, basically to start over and do all this again, but okay, that was probably, should have quick-scrolled, but anyway. But this time, to make it even harder for myself by using the wand. Now, my suspicion is that the wand is more or less functionally identical to ground pounding. Maybe with a slightly reduced AoE. Because I do think it does AoE damage. But yeah, so this is now our item. This is the one item we can use. Does give us an ability to restore imagination. Takes a little while, probably won't ever be useful because, well, maybe. I don't see many uses for it, honestly. Yeah, I'll need to take a look back at Tracer's video. I'll do that. I'll not do that on this, because this is kind of meant to be a run thing. I'll do that another time. See how much imagination... Because she still shouldn't have had enough imagination to quick build all of the platforms. At least if they're all 20 imagination per platform. Because she only had 43 total. Anyway, yeah, it is time to return to Avant Gardens, and, I mean, I guess in part we'll see how well I can remember the quest chain. It's one of those things that, like, in theory I should know back to front. Whether or not I actually do is a whole other question. It's like blindfolded runs. They seem a lot easier than they are. It seems like, yeah, if I've done this 100 times, I should know where everything is, but there are obviously, yeah, just cues you pick up without really realising just how much information you are gaining. Like, even your muscle memory, all of your muscle memory is built off of cues from the game. So yeah, first off, it probably is worth using an espresso here. So yeah, I'm just going to run right to the start of Avant Gardens, and we will redo all of it. Or at least as much of it as we can, but whilst doing this even harder hardcore LU run. So I'm going to go through all of this. Obviously, we're going to pretend I have less than 6 health. We'll pretend I have 5 health, because... Wait a second, did I? Yeah, presumably I did get all the heart flags in AG. Yeah, we'll pretend I have 5 health because I could go through and pick up all the heart flags for that. And I could do that before doing any missions, but it'll just take a while. Okay. So we're setting off. I guess I'm technically using a speed boost. I talk to Whisperly. Whisperly tells me, hey mate, can you go and talk to Epsilon? I talk to Epsilon. Epsilon tells me to get a spear. I get the spear, equip it. I attack using the spear. Quite long range, actually. This might not be as bad a weapon as MM12 made it out to be, because I think it does damage to anything along that line. I think it can do multiple. Let's wait until these respawn, and I'll see if I can show that it does. I could be wrong. It could just not do any. Actually, I can't be bothered to wait. Let's see if I can get these two. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so it does... It has... Let's see what... that was bad. Let's see what the cooldown's like on it. But, okay, so the cooldown's not great, but you can start moving again before the end of the cooldown. So, right. So, the next mission is 15 Stromlings. And this is going to be made quite a bit easier. Normally, it's really dangerous to group up Stromlings. However, like this, it's significantly less so because I can take them out from a distance. And ideally, I can also do this whilst... I'm not actually keeping track exactly of the number of Stromlings I've smashed. But I can also do this whilst smashing the mech. Wow. So it is possible to miss quite badly with this. It's good to know. Good to know and quite interesting. I wonder why that is. I guess, so certain items Certain items with a charge up will basically, they put a delay on you being able to attack so that they know whether you're attacking or whether you're using the charge up. Oh, okay, this does. It feels good if I have control and can group up a large number of Stromlings. It feels really painful fighting a mech with this. And yeah, they need to be quite nicely lined up. Okay, I think I've smashed more than 15. I'll do a couple more though, just to be certain. Wow. Yeah, that's... But yeah, it does have the added benefit of, yeah, the AoE. And AoE at range as well. So it's not actually that bad. It's not as bad as it at first looks, based on the fact that it does 1 damage and it's a really long cooldown. That's a little misleading. Let's be very careful because I'm nearly dead. Yeah, there we are. That's another example of just how lovely it is. Because, yeah, I took out both of those at once. It's more fun to play with, I must admit, because although it's obviously, like, because, yeah, the reason that it's, like, obviously in inverted commas quite bad is actually the reason it, yeah, it's not as bad as it appears, but it is really fun to play with. Smash 10 of those. Yeah, it makes it more fun because although it's not as bad as it appears, in order to have it not be as bad as it appears, you need to be a little bit better. You need to like think about how you use it. You can't just run up and attack, which honestly makes this a arguably more fun challenge than Grill You. Or more interesting, maybe, I don't know. I feel they're both kind of the same challenge. Okay, so I've now picked up a mission to rebuild... Is it 6? I think it's 6. Stromling mechs into turrets. Take out as many of those as I can in one. Yeah. Now I've got to really, really slowly fight this guy. Can I? Oh, interesting. Okay. I mean, it doesn't help that much. But note that if I do that, or if I mid-air attack, so if I ground pound attack, or if I lunge jump, if I kick jump, whatever you want to call it, single jump attack, I guess. If I do either of those, if I go for either of those, basically, my life's no harder than if I were using fists, because it plays the same animation, does the same thing as if you were attacking with fists. Also paying attention to the number of Maelstrom bricks I have and I've picked up. I started this run with 16, so I need to get 50 Maelstrom bricks for Wisp Lee. So I've gotten 4 so far, and I'm looking to get 31. And so yeah, I'm honestly not going to keep track of the number of times I've smashed and rebuilt this mech, because I know I will smash and rebuild it. Well, I don't know. I think I've done it like twice, maybe so far. Server. Okay, that in fairness, I know that should be a failure, but that was like the server. You could see everything, everything walking ahead and like ignoring me is the server being behind. It's a classic. Oh, not the server being behind, but like latency. Large latency thing. So, chicken said, and yeah, this is like my 3rd, maybe 4th build of that guy, and yeah, rare is the run. Well, okay, I do like the distance on this thing. The distance on this thing is quite nice. The less nice thing about it is you can be knocked out of an attack. You've seen, oh, that's happened to me twice so far. Yeah, you can be knocked out of your attack animation, which isn't great. It's not ideal. I should have been using this as a counter for the number of times I'd smashed and rebuilt the mech. As long as I rebuild it every time, then it's the same. Ah, you see that pro gamer strategy? Oh no, lag. Yeah, it's a more interesting weapon to play with. Honestly, Loki, I do definitely do LU weapon reviews. I feel there's very much a difference though between reviewing a weapon in general and like reviewing how fun it is to play, etc., and doing a hardcore you run with it. Let's get heart there. That's a little bit better. And that was a little bit close to our we're dead when we hit 2 lives. Okay, now I've definitely smashed and rebuilt enough of them, I think. I'll go for one more. Okay, now I can say, yeah. Certain I've done that enough. Where am I? Bricks. Okay. So we've got quite a few more bricks to go yet. Again, ranged, lovely. Yeah, so this is a melee weapon. It does not count as in the game as a ranged weapon because it's basically just how far it shoots that really decides that. And this does not shoot far enough to be a ranged weapon. Basically, yeah, ranged weapons actually have projectiles. This just has basically a long... So, yeah, it has projectiles and they work differently. So a projectile, like, moves in a trajectory. It's an actual thing spawned in by the game, I'm fairly certain. That guy isn't dead, I don't think. Yeah, they were still following me. Yeah, they're an actual thing spawned in by the game. They move along a trajectory, whereas this is basically just what happens if you give... This weapon is what happens if you give a melee attack, like, quite long range and some AoE. I don't know, the sideways AoE isn't that good on this, but I found it interesting because I didn't realise that was how it works, but yeah. Issues with this weapon, sideways AoE is rubbish. You can be knocked out of an attack with it, which I'm guessing is related to the charge up, and it sometimes just misses, which isn't really what you want. Okay, so we just need 5 more. Just need 4 more. I'm not certain if the lunge attack takes longer to recharge than it normally would. I very rarely use the lunge attack. It does have its uses. There are some things which are unique about it. So it's for instance, the only way you can attack in LU that maintains your forwards velocity. Okay, I mean, no, I was going to make a joke saying spring shoes do, just because they force you to go forwards, but no, even when you hit something with the spring shoes, you stop for a second. They're a very, I guess, okay, Fig on Fire. Things that do damage to stuff kind of that you touch, that's all fair enough, yeah, there are ways of dealing damage without moving, but in general, so I don't know if the Figure on Fire actually does damage the second you touch something, or if it like takes a second for the first DOT tick to hit. Let's get both of these in one. Wow, or not. But it does mean that running and jumping is in theory the fastest way of, if you were to do a speed run, it's the fastest way of going through certain places. For instance, if you want to go, you would never do this in a speed run, but if you wanted to go through the tunnel and the monument, that would be the fastest way of doing it. In a speed run, there is thus far no speed run that has even been conceived of where that is the fastest route. So like the speedruns that require you going through a monument is Avant Garden's just running through it. There's Avant Garden's Hearts and Imagination. And there's the Monument speedrun. Monument speedrun, not the fastest. Hearts and Imagination, the route you take doesn't go there. AG any %, again, the route you take doesn't go there. There's no actual reason you to go through. Okay, so I've done these. I then get, okay, this mission doesn't change much. I'd complete Hand in the... Oh, no. I think first off... Sorry, I'm not used to considering where survival is in this quest chain. But first off, I would have had to go back. I would have had to do survival. I would also have had to go to Klaus Zet and buy stuff. I was mostly thinking of the missions I had to fight stuff for. But yeah, so I return, after having done all those, I return to Wispley. So I think the order it goes, just for the sake of saying I did do all of the missions, or at least I knew all of the missions in order. I've done them enough times. I've done them so many times that I do. It goes rebuilding the mech. Oh, actually, yeah, I'm not 100% certain when. I think when the armor polish mission is. I think it goes talk to him, salute, buy armor polish. That gives you the hat. Then fight mechs. After fighting mechs, it is return. Buy Sentinel Shield, use Sentinel Shield, do Avant Garden Survival, talk to Wispley. Wispley gives you the mission to pick up 15 Maelstrom bricks, hand in that mission, get the mission to get the Maelstrom vacuum and to equip it and use it once. Then you complete that. Then there's the one to pick up all of these Maelstrom bricks, which we're going to assume I've done. I could actually get the mission from Huware to do it, but yeah, then we're on this quest chain and we fight Spiderlings. Might as well pick up this whilst I'm here. Yeah, so I think it is 23 imagination or something like that, maybe 25 to tame a lion. That's not a... Okay, so this I actually need to... I think I may need to resort to some old strats that I haven't used in ages. Oh, okay, no, I don't. I don't think, anyway. Because I can... Yeah, I can... Okay, this is kind of easy. The range in LU is, in general, just quite overpowered. Any sort of range, but here I can just repeatedly attack this Dark Spiderling and remain out of range of its web attack, but I mucked it up, and I was already down on 2 health. I could have used healing kits there. So that would be a loss. Would be a loss in this challenge. It would be a loss in this challenge, not because they died, but because they went down to 2 health. I guess 1 health. Because I would have the... I would have the heart flags by this point. I'm assuming this isn't going to work, but it's worth testing. Yeah, it still doesn't. Okay, so fight this Spiderling. Let's do this a little bit better. I'll pay a little bit more attention. But yeah, so there is an alternative strategy I could go for, which is basically the hit and run approach. And that's more or less run up, hit, run up, hit. This was that was developed for LCDRU, because LCDRU Spiderlings were significantly harder. They were really difficult to fight, because they basically only ever used their web attack, which is like the most powerful Spiderling attack there is. I don't want to retreat so far that I lose aggro. That was bad. I actually haven't had to fight a Dark Spiderling without stun locking them in quite a while. Which does kind of change this up. Because normally I can rely on more or less entirely stun locking them, which does entirely change kind of the meta of how you fight them. Here I cannot rely on that, because there's such a delay between attacks. This is low-key more what it's like to be one of the Maelstrom and have like awful attack rates, awful delays between attacks, because that's one of the reasons why minifigures do so well fighting the Maelstrom. It's just like why minifigures tend to have quite low health compared to Maelstrom enemies. And why the game's still balanced. It's because we deal damage just so much faster. So I'm going to... So it's 5 postcards. I'm going to complete this mission to do 10, because it's not a 100% chance of dropping a postcard. I think someone has at some point said it's a half. I don't know that's true. I don't think it is. It doesn't feel like it's a half. But it's definitely... It's definitely no less than a half. So going through and playing like this is more than fine. Yeah, this definitely would never be a replacement to Hardcore OU in how I play, but this is a fun challenge. It's a fun challenge to do it once. If anyone else has any kind of challenges like this, just using a single particular weapon, let me know. Because this is kind of interesting. It's a way I would never normally fight a bad ninja. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of fun to be had from just playing with settings the game never expects you to choose. I knew that was coming, and I thought I could get in that final shot in time. Yeah, if I'm honest, I find at the very least fighting Spiderlings with this, anything with health is significantly more tedious. I mean, for the obvious reasons that I do basically no damage. My DPS is basically 0, but it's kind of, there is, with fighting enemies, normally there's some stuff you can do to like make it faster. You can do movement, and because DPS isn't such a limiting factor, yeah, I don't know. This does feel, and I would be dead, but I'm now past caring. I don't know. This has reached the stage where I would be on, on some of the LWO.XML runs where this honestly just isn't enjoyable, really. At least fighting these things, because they're just large amounts of health. I can play it very, very safe, run away, but that just takes ages. So if I do like 3 damage at a time, I can be almost entirely safe from these guys. But yeah, just not the most. It's an interesting challenge, and fighting Stromlings, etc. I guess I should do survival. I just automatically assume survival auto skips. Which is why I didn't, which is why I was just utterly passed it up there. But I should do survival. And survival with this might actually be really fun. Hordes of Stromlings with this are really, really interesting. because there's a lot about positioning yourself, there's a lot about manipulating their AI to group them, all of that good stuff. Really good fun with this weapon. However, anything... I don't think I will play this through to the Spider Queen, because I believe I could defeat her, but it would just be... it would take ages and be really, really tedious. Okay, so that's a good way of manipulating the AI here. Yeah, okay, again, dead. But I don't care. Yeah, Avant Gardens also isn't the most interesting place for me, certainly anymore at any rate, because just the number of times they've done it. So that's where interesting. That's why I feel stuff like LWLXML challenges, I am more likely to just be like, okay, this is actually awful. I don't really want to play this. I'm not going to enjoy playing it. It's because, yeah, Avant Gardens I have done so many times. If it takes ages, it kind of just really kills the fun of it. The funnest thing about Avant Gardens is leaving Avant Gardens, one might say. But yeah, okay, so I guess, yeah, I'll do Survival. Survival could be really fun. Survival with just a wand, I think, might actually be quite enjoyable. Quite interesting. I'll try and go... I'll go for score as well. I won't just run around in circles. So I can spend quite a lot on health kits. Like, obviously, I will run around to try and avoid stuff, but I will also try and deal damage. I will do a mix. Too. Some Quixicles on hand. Yeah, Nation Potion 60, those things in. Oh, I need to imagine it as well, and I'll get 10, because that will complete a mission for me. A mission I haven't accepted yet, it would seem. Yeah, okay. So we'll see if we can do, yeah, the 3 minutes. I've got health kits. It shouldn't be much. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. But yeah, and I will try and go for score as well. Oh, okay, that was not great, but yeah. So the nice thing is, of course, I can deal damage from a distance. So I can do things like baiting. Can't. Okay, I'm limited in height. This will deal damage from. However, yeah, that's where it comes into its own. Okay, so I need to survive for 1 minute. I'm going to survive for 1 minute. Playing it somewhat safe. That was bad. And that was also bad. Come on. 5. I could actually... Okay, no, I've survived a minute. But yeah, so now I'm gonna... I don't think I can... Okay, I want to get these all kind of lined up for me. All quite clumped in an area. Wow. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna give this another go. Because I feel this is where it's going to be the most interesting. I'm also going to aggro the Spiderling earlier on, because now I'm not, like... I don't need to complete this in a certain time. Or I don't need to complete this for a certain time in order to get mission progression. And I've got health kits galore. A little bit of an issue with these guys in pathfinding is that they tend to walk upwards, and this doesn't attack at all upwards. Like, if they are at all above me, this misses. Which means I've got to be quite careful to fight them on parts of terrain where they will be at like the same direction as me. Same heights as me. I can attack them like just by fighting directly forwards. That's hard. I died at exactly the same time as last time, I think. Because I noticed the thing literally only just ticked up. Yes, so conclusion I think is that this has potential as a weapon for this, but it stun locks you for too long afterwards. I don't care about the long cooldown, that's fine, I can handle weapons with a long cooldown, and I love the AoE. But I think there's a combination of things. I think the width on the AoE makes it really hard to try and attack multiple things simultaneously. I don't even see anything over there. I see one Stromling, 2 Stromlings spawned in the first 3 in the first minute. Nothing's spawning. Why is nothing spawning? It literally took a minute for this guy to spawn in. Again, in theory, I can keep this, yeah. Well, this is going to make it easy to beat my previous record. If nothing spawns in. Okay, let's clump these guys up. What I could also do is just not even try and take out the mechs, just aim. Ah, that's not good. Just aim only for the Stromlings. Moving backwards. Moving backwards, I think, yeah, is really good, because as long as you're quite close, the mech will continue trying to attack you with... Ooh, okay. Wow. Hello, other mech. Was down to 1 health there. Yeah, it's really hard to get a shot off on all of them at once. Like, it's possible, but it's quite difficult. I'll try and clump them all up nicely. Spiderling obviously makes this a lot harder now. I mean, this does have the AoE advantage. That's one thing really to say for it. Really, the AoE does make it more playable than it would otherwise be. Yeah, I did 3 minutes. That's the. Let's go to next. Pick up these. Exit. There we are. I think I'm going to call it here. Because, yeah, I don't think I'm not going to fight the Spider Queen like this. It's just not going to be enjoyable. It's doable, I'm sure. But yeah. Yeah, with that said, yeah, so I feel like there's some useful stuff come out of this. There's getting the heart flags in Gnarl Forest. That's possible. There is one dicey moment with an ape. Fighting an ape, which could be very difficult. Can be played safely, though. Like, I feel I did play that quite safely. As long as you time everything well, that is doable, that is safe. So yeah, that's all plausible. I need to do some research on spring jumping with fists only. Because it's definitely doable to make those spring jumps. But it was, yeah, it certainly wasn't going to be that easy. And it would cost a fair amount of money. I do actually have the money now to give it a go. But, yeah, the main reason to do it is it unlocks quite a bit of quest chain. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can buy around there. And it lets you get the ever-important tough buff source. Which, yeah, is really helpful in a hardcore OU kind of thing, because, yeah, it reduces damage. I doubt I can make this first time, but, yeah. I was correct, I could not. And there potentially is a way of actually doing that, making use of some tech that we didn't have back when I first found that as, like, a challenge route, but, yeah, anyway. With that said, thank you all very much for watching. I've been NinjaOU. I hope you enjoyed this slightly strange video, a combination of 2 challenges in one. And yeah, I will see you around. Bye. Oh, actually, no, before I say that, no, standard thing, huge thanks to DLU for, because I mean, this is their server, huge thanks to all the work the devs have put in. Also, huge thanks to MM12 for giving me the weapon and challenge. That was appreciated. It's nothing against MM12 that I did not want to fight the Spider Queen like this. Yeah, it's just hardcore LU can already get quite monotonous. Hardcore LU plus it takes like 3 times as long to deal damage. It's not going to happen. But this is a really, or at least not with the Spider Queen, not with something that relies on DPS, but this is an interesting weapon. I do enjoy using it, at least for using it for large numbers of enemies. Large numbers of high damage dealing, but low health enemies. This would be fun. Like, kind of the challenge of clumping them up. I guess Stromlings are quite easy to clump up, and there's nothing else. And there's nothing else that I'd really that this would work as well with as it does with Stromlings. Wait a second, how long did that leave me stuck afterwards? I swear I was trying to. Interesting. Okay, that's weird. Okay, take a look at this. So much for ending the video. Okay, so I do that. Weird. There's something, yeah, like when I do this and when I spam Alt, it will just not use the attack next time, but it will still register as having done it. Don't know why that is. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I've been NinjaOU. Huge thanks to everyone in general who just goes into making these possible, and I will see you around. Bye.